Hi guys, welcome to the Break Free podcast with Rachel, and I am so excited to be sitting here with Meghan Gonzales, the owner of Pure Barre, and she's just going to spend some time with us talking about break free. What does it mean to her and what brings her joy in life? But first, I want to find out, and I want you guys to know, well, I already know because me and Meghan are friends, and we've been friends for a long time now, and her story, like a little bit about her. So Meghan, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for coming to the studio. So great. So, wow, where do I start? My fitness journey started when I was really young. My mom has been a personal trainer, nutritionist, and involved in fitness for as long as I can remember. And I was pretty resistant to it when I was younger. I was a dancer, so I was all in on that. My mom really wanted me to run track. I was not into that. By my lack of cardio, you can tell that. But kind of fast forward, when I got into college, she was teaching cycling and said, you know, you should teach silver sneakers because we need teachers at the place that she was teaching. And I was like, oh, okay. So I that was my first job in fitness. I was a silver sneakers teacher. So that's for elderly people who, you know, need to literally just stand up, sit down, pretty simple stuff. And then because I was a dancer, I actually started doing Shanti's hip hop abs. And like doing that with some of the local people in the gym. And kind of fast forward, I ended up in Colorado and got Les Mills certified, Body Jam, Body Attack, Body Pump. That's actually where Rachel and I met at Raintree Athletic Club. And that was I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
It was a long time ago. So I've been involved in fitness for over 13 years now, just in my professional career. And then I got a quote unquote big girl job, and I left Raintree to pursue a career in marketing. And that kind of led me down a 6-year career that was amazing and wonderful and fruitful. And I actually worked right across the street at Maguire, and when I found Pure Barre, I fell in love. I became a teacher. Life happened as it does, and I ended up stepping back from teaching to get married and have a baby. And that is when the trajectory and then the path of my life really changed. When Olivia was born, I just knew I had to leave. My corporate day job, it was amazing. It was wonderful. It served the best purpose. It has given and provided us the ability to buy the studio. But I knew that I couldn't work from 7 to 4 and, you know, be away from my daughter. I also knew that I couldn't stay home with my daughter. I really love her, but I knew that that was just not something that I should do because it filled me up to work and be a part of something bigger. And so I came to the previous owner and asked her about teaching. And she ended up offering to sell me the studio. And I'll never forget sitting in my car over my lunch break talking to her. And I was game planning how to leave my job. And I thought teaching would be a good segue out of that. And then I realized that this was 100% without a doubt where my life was supposed to go. And I had no idea how we were going to make it work. I just knew, and I went upstairs. My husband worked at Maguire too. I went upstairs and I pulled him aside and said, this just happened. And he said, we're going to figure it out. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And so our journey started last December, and in May, it came to fruition, and we bought the studio, and the last 8 months have been a total whirlwind of amazing change and struggle, and it has just been the best blessing for our family, for our lives, and just exactly what I knew it would be.
Yeah. I love it. Meant to be. It was meant to be.
It was, yeah.
So what does break free mean to you?
So in that context, for me, break free is breaking free of the limitations and boundaries that were around my life. Once I started a family, I looked around at what I thought people had, or what, you know, you decide and make up in your mind of a life that you think people are living, and knew that I had to break out of that. I couldn't keep looking into someone else's life and projecting what I thought they had, because I was unhappy, right? Again, I loved my career and where I was, but I had to break free of that to know that I could set my own schedule and make myself available for a day home on Tuesdays with Olivia, right? And breaking free of the boundaries that I was within those walls. And for some people, that those boundaries work really well. Obviously, there's a place and a different type of lifestyle and career for everyone. But for me, I knew that I had to break free because my family, first and foremost, deserved more of me. I wasn't my whole, who my best self. And I knew that I could help other people. And that's where my heart was.
Yeah.
And in getting out of that, it opened my eyes to something that I didn't even know existed. I knew that I wanted to help women. I knew that I wanted to help people in general. Growing up with a personal trainer and fitness guru as a mother, I was so naive to the fact that the world doesn't just eat healthy and work out.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally. Yeah.
And even coming into business ownership, I still have a little bit of that naivety, and my eyes have been opened. But it's not just you work out and that's what you do. You have a gym membership and that's what you do. So showing people how they can break free out of the life that they don't want to have, right? We sit and we project and we say, oh, well, Rachel has this life because of this. It's ultimately us not having what we want and not being fulfilled and finding reasons or a way to blame it, right? So finding a way to help other people break free is a passion that I didn't even know I had. I knew there was this kind of nebulous, like, oh, I want to help people, right? We all want to help people. But how do I show them a lifestyle and a community that you can lean into and love on and be loved on and just grow? So
that is, wow, such a powerful place so you went, that's always how it happens, first of all. We go through our own transformations, our own breakthroughs in life, and then we realize of how we can bring that to other people. And really everything that you just related into how you're helping other people is exactly the same break free and transition that you went through, right? You had these limitations that you had set around your life that this is the way that it had to be, and this is that limitation, right?
Yep.
And then now helping other people realize that they don't have to have limitations on their life either, right? And you're able to do that with so many different aspects, but specifically in their health, in their wellness, fitness, in that area of life, which so many people set limitations on. That they're not capable, that they can't, that they're too old, that they don't have the ability to do this, that, and then be able to bring them in here and show them, no, you can do this,
Absolutely.
Which I've totally heard about Pure Barre from many people, that they come in here and it's something that, they really feel like, maybe they didn't know if they were going to be able to do it. Like they were unsure, right? Hesitant to actually come in and try it.
Yes.
And it really is for anybody at any level, because it's how hard you push yourself, right?
Absolutely. And the great thing about Pure Barre in general is it is something that you can do at any age, male and female. We do have mostly female client base. However, in larger cities especially, a lot of male athletes will come into the studios. The ballet bar tends to scare some of our males off, I think. But it's not, you do not have to have any dance background.
Right.
There's no dance background required. You don't have to learn choreography and all of those things to be able to take a class. And it is so incredibly strong. It is one of the things, the core foundations of my fitness and my health has been pivotal. I've worked out my whole life, and I never knew kind of that next level that I could get to until I really gave it my all in the studio, which didn't really happen until I bought the studio. But we actually started, because I'll be the first to tell you, it's intimidating. You walk in here and it seems like everybody knows what they're doing. They know the positions, they know the equipment they need, they know where they stand, right? And if you're walking in the door for the first time, it feels like you're on the outside looking in, right? It's like that fish tank feeling. And so in order to try to break that down, we implemented Pure Foundations, and that is our quote entry-level class, let me tell you, it's not easy. Because we actually get people in the right position and hold the form. Yes, and we hold that form, and you're doing more isometric work, which actually ends up being a little bit harder almost.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that people don't come in and feel discouraged, or like everyone knows what they're doing and they have the right technique, the terminology. It's like anything. You have to start somewhere. You have to build the foundation. You know, you cannot play basketball without putting your shoes on, putting your socks on, putting your shoes, tying your shoes.
Yeah.
You have to have that solid foundation in order to be successful at anything. And so we really, really try to get people into that first class for foundations.
Yeah.
And then they can come and take classic or reform or any other, empower. But we want them to have the right foundation, feel comfortable, safe, strong, and knowledgeable to be able to get started and feel good about their Pure Barre journey.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's huge. It's been a huge impact. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's amazing when somebody actually does get in the right form of doing something. When you're like, well, get your butt back and squat lower, get your shoulders
over your hips.
Yes. Well, that's harder. Yeah, because you're doing it right.
Yep. But you get the dirty looks for sure. Like I come over and do hands-on corrections and someone like looks back and like, you'll love me later.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. So what brings you joy in life in doing this, and how do you bring that same joy to other people?
It's really simple. I get so much joy from the small moments, the tiny wins where somebody calls me or we, are texting and they say, I feel so much stronger. I found a new friend. I, came back from this surgery or worked through or lost this weight or whatever they are seeking. Maybe they don't even know, right? They found a community. When I get those little moments, those just glimmers, that brings me so much joy. The big wins are great, right? Having a lot of events and grand reopening and all the things that have happened. It's almost more exhausting, if I can be honest, to do those things because you just pour so much. And I don't get to slow down and interact and say, like, how are you, Rachel?
Right.
What's going on in your life? So what brings me joy is being in the studio, seeing those micro wins, those massive wins, whatever it is. I get to share those with people and just tap into their life and understand what they're going through, good, bad, or indifferent, whether it's a health concern or a family issue or, bad or good. I get to share those things with people, and that fills me up so much. And I'm not a super emotional person, so that surprised me. But when I'm not in the studio, it hurts. Like, I want to be here.
Right.
And it just feels different. It's different when I'm here. I get to connect, and I know exactly what Sarah or Julie or whoever is going through, and they know that I care and that they can come here, and all of our teachers care.
Yeah.
They're here to support them, uplift them, encourage them. So that's a lot. I don't know if that specifically answers it, but just those little moments and interactions with people to get to see their growth.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. And then what is something that from everything we've talked about so far?
Yep.
Okay. What's something, because I want every time we do a podcast, what's one thing that they can take away today and use in their lives to grow, to better their lives in the message that you brought today?
Wow. I would say the one thing would be to slow down, be intentional, take the time to ask somebody how they're doing, take the time to check in. Our lives, our calendars are filled to the brim. And maybe they're not, but for my experience, most of the entrepreneurs, especially that I know, we're filling up our cup so many ways that it's just overflowing, and you miss out on those moments. And to just start your day, I start my day with meditation. I do not sit still well. To sit there for 9 minutes, the first time that I saw that it was a 9-minute meditation, I was like, 9 minutes? Do you know how many emails I could answer in 9 minutes? It made me uncomfortable. But I start my day in stillness, and when I don't, I feel it, right? and I'm able to slow down and take the time to check in and remember why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, whether it's fitness or marketing or event planning.
Everybody in life is busy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could think anybody can relate to that. We're all busy. That's one thing I've learned. It doesn't matter what you're doing in life. We are all busy. So, learning to be intentional about slowing down and really connect. Really.
Yeah.
Right?
We're humans. We're humans, right?
Yeah.
Like, we forget we're moving so fast and somebody cuts us off and we just flick them off and keep going. And, that person's going through something. And if they have someone in their life who's tapping in and saying, hey, how are you? What's going on? I hear the craziest stories. And when I first came into ownership, I was like, oh my gosh, wow, I'm hearing so much. And it was a little bit of overload because I didn't have space for it. But once I was able to slow down and take that pause and hear it and receive it, and then be that person, right, that they can talk to, now maybe she doesn't flip somebody off because she gets cut off. She's like, oh, she has something else going on too, It's those small moments of realizing we're all just humans. We're not robots. We all have families and responsibilities and full calendars. So how do we tap back in?
And that is what Meghan just rounded out, and her whole message has been connecting in this. What brings her joy is the small moments, right? And she said that over and over and over again. And that was her tip for you guys, is that slowing down so that you can be in those small moments. So you do recognize those small moments. And I will say, without a doubt, the minute she said it, I was like, totally something that I could be working on. That's the great thing about growing in life, is that we never stop growing. Even though there are things maybe you already knew, you're probably listening to this and be like, yeah, totally. Like, I know I need to slow down. And I do that. Connecting to those small moments is important. And the only way that you're going to connect to those small moments is when you do slow down. It's a good reminder to do that. And just like today, that's a great reminder for me. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Favorite book?
Favorite book right now? Favorite book of all time?
All time.
All time. A Million Little Pieces.
Oh.
James Gray.
Okay, I haven't read that.
Yep, it's really good. It was one of the first books that I read in high school that I actually enjoyed reading.
Okay.
So maybe that's why it stuck with me. Yeah.
Okay, really Million Little Pieces.
A Million Little Pieces.
Okay. Favorite podcast?
I listen to a lot of motivational podcasts, but I've been trying to balance it out. And my favorite podcast is a murder podcast.
What is it?
My Favorite Murder.
My Favorite Murder.
Okay. And it is a comedy murder podcast, which is a little bit quirky and strange. But it is these two gals who they raise a lot of awareness around mental health and have done really great things in the murder mystery community, actually. And so the first about 30 minutes is them just kind of babbling, and then they each tell their depiction of a murder that, basically researching it and doing that. And so it is an interesting, quirky, different type of podcast, definitely, but I find it nice to disconnect.
So that is so interesting because I don't think it's the same podcast. Okay. But you're the second person to bring up a podcast that I just was like, what?
I almost didn't say that one. Because it's kind of funky, but...
No, I think it's great. I think it's great. And I also think that it is good to balance things out. When you're just constantly listening to the same things over and over, maybe, break it up a little bit.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
It's good.
Yeah.
And then how about quote? Favorite quote?
I don't know it exactly.
Okay, that's okay.
Don't worry about the other woman in the race with you. You're not even competing with her. Just clap for her.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
probably botched the exact wording of it, but essentially
the message is
there, right?
Yeah.
Clap and cheer on your fellow human, woman, entrepreneur, girlfriend, whoever it is. You're not in the same race. You're not in a race.
I think that is perfect, and something that I actually have been talking about a lot lately. If you guys know what quote that is, go ahead and post it, because
post it for us. I definitely botched
but
it.
the message is totally there, and I absolutely love that. I think it's just really in thinking about putting on those blinders, because oftentimes we get so distracted by things that aren't even like they're not even real, right?
Right.
They're not even supposed to be that way. We just get so distracted by these things. It's just like, just put those blinders, cheer other people on, like, you know.
Yeah, and the thing is you make, like you said, you meaning make in your head, and you make these decisions up that are narratives for other people, and ultimately only hurting you. It's
Right.
only distracting or hurting your business or your family or whatever that looks like. So just, the blinders, it's a real thing. I mean, it's hard sometimes to say, to not look into somebody's life and think, well, they have it all, or, you know, but there's 6 years of work behind that, or, you know, it doesn't just happen overnight, and just cheer each other on.
Yes.
It's hard. So
It is.
we should just be encouraging and supporting. So.
Well, I can tell you this, that if you come to Pure Barre, you will be cheered on. This woman has a heart of gold, and I know her whole entire staff does, and that's what you're going to get here. So Megan, tell everybody how they can find you.
So we are online, Pure Barre Fort Collins. If you Google Pure Barre Fort Collins, our website will come up. We also have a Pure Barre app that you can download and easily sign up for your first foundations class. If you've never done Pure Barre before, we offer them on Mondays at 10:30 a.m., on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. And then we have 38 other classes throughout the week to choose from. We are located on Diegler, right over around the corner from Super Target. So you probably drive by it every day. Who doesn't go to Target?
Sure.
And then I'm also on Instagram, Pure Barre Foco, and then Meghan Gonzales.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was going to say, they might just be like, I have to get to know this Megan.
Yes, Gonzales with an S on the end.
Gonzales with an S.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for
Thank you guys for listening.
Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Break Free podcast by Fitness Festival Events. You can find our website at fitnessfestivalevents.com, where you can learn more about the events we have coming up, our Break Free community, and much more. For Instagram and Facebook, find us at Fitness Festival Events, or for our community, Break Free Community. For Rachel, you can find her on Instagram at rachel.pastor, and email rachel@fitnessfestivalevents.com.